like, and this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you because, of your expertise and like all this sort of stuff. Like, did they get bamboozled by Netflix? Because it feels like I don't see how subscription-based streaming sustains. Like, if Disney is the second best to Netflix, right? And
Hmm.
they're losing like
Distant.
so much money.
Yeah.
Like, what is the unless they're just going to increase the price forever to get to like a $50 kind of a situation? I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand how it sustains
You're
itself.
not
Like,
going to
how?
get 5 and 6 Marvel shows a year anymore. You're not going to
Yeah,
get
God,
4 and 5. Yeah, thank God, huh? You're not going to get
yeah,
4
but
and 5 Star Wars shows a year anymore. And
thank God.
a lot
but
of
does
what
that sustain? Like, you think that is the direction to profitability? Because
part
I
of it.
think right now, like I'll just say this for me. Like, I'm actively looking for like windows of time where I can unsubscribe. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
So like after Loki, like I'm good for a while because like I have zero interest in well, actually they just tricked me and did What If in Christmas time. But before that, like Echo, I have no interest in. I would have gone all the way to X-Men 97. But that's one of the things I think they want to have that stretched out so you can't unsubscribe. But if they take those shows off, like I'll unsubscribe, and I think a lot of people would. So I don't even know if that's
I
a
You're right, Josh, that I think they would lose some subscribers by slowing things down. However, here's the issue. There's not enough folks out there watching those shows to justify the budgets they're spending to produce and
No.
market them onto Disney Plus. That's the problem. It's like a lot of things that we see in the theater these days, right? It's like even though you might say movie was pretty good, but it didn't really do that well in theaters because the market wasn't big enough for it. There's not enough people that have an interest in so and so and such anymore.
Disney's plan is to cannibalize Hulu, bring in Hulu's subscribers to Disney Plus.
Yep.
Their plan is to make ESPN part of this giant bundle, dramatically cut back the new content coming to Disney Plus, pull back the budgets on the content that is going to Disney Plus, and try to get to a break-even point sometime in the next 24 months. Now, what really is interesting, and this goes beyond what I think the average investor looks at, figure out how long it's going to be before all of this investment that was put into Disney Plus is actually worthwhile. In other words, how long does it take to dig back out of the investments and get into overall profitability? You find yourself easily into the 20s.
Oh, 10 plus years minimum.
yeah, that's wild. I mean, I look at that and I'm just like I just don't see a way out, for them because the very thing that like Iger kind of hung his hat on and this whole idea, like I remember there was a time when they said Disney Plus was going to be like $7 a month, and it was going to like the model and the strategy was ancillary to Netflix, kind of like just a cheap addition to have access to the vault and have access to all of that kind of content. And somewhere along the line, it like morphed into this machine of conveyor belt, and I'm just like, I don't see a way out. You know what I mean?
do.
Like, frankly,
You're
I do.
right, and it's funny. Just real quick, Steve. It's funny you say that, Josh, because again, that's something I brought up. I think in the video that I did the other day on this, one of the two Ahsoka videos. Or no, I'm sorry, it was during the on the Disney lawsuit video that I did with Andrew, and talked about with him on his live stream on Legal Mindset, and that is that was the very question that was asked maybe a year and a half ago. I don't think it was too long before Chapek was shown the door. So I think it was last summer. Okay. Maybe after the second quarter earnings call, which would have been about a year ago in August last year. Somebody on the phone, I can't remember who, was one of the analysts, either J.P. Morgan or Credit Suisse or Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, one of those guys. And they asked, look, Bob, in the beginning, and they were asking this to Christine McCarthy, too, the former chief financial officer. In the beginning, when this Disney Plus thing launched, I mean, we were expecting profitability fairly quickly, especially given the amount of subscribers, 10 million in the first day when Disney Plus launched. We didn't expect all this. We didn't expect these massive expenses, like these losses every quarter running out this long. Some, sure, but 2-3 years into the run, you're still showing billion-plus losses quarter over quarter. You know, we thought, and exactly as you just said, Josh, that there was enough of a market out there with the enormity of Disney's content library as it existed already that we probably didn't need to spend $10 billion a year in content generation.
I never understood why they did what they did, where they put all of the content on a Disney Plus. Why in the world would you not go with the vault system and create scarcity and rotate your content so that you have some degree of, oh my gosh, guess what's coming out next month? We've got, my favorite movie from my childhood. This never made any sense to put everything you have, essentially, minus Black Hole and Song of the South, onto your streaming service, and people paying this amount of money. It boggles my mind how any actuary allowed this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a solution, though, for their way out of this, Valiant, and it's on my screen right now. I suggest for the next few years, nothing but Geode After Dark content. I just want to see rocks and lingerie and sitting around with Pee Wee Herman on the Vespa scooters.
Oh, God, those Vespas, man. Remember when that one dude did the 360, that spin? And he, shot?
I deliberately made a video. I'm like, this is not getting monetized. And the whole intro was making fun of that.
I just wanted the Equalizer,
and it was
to show
with
up
Michael
and take
Jackson
care of the
music,
Vespas.
which is why I got demonetized.
Nice.
So yeah,
Denzel should have showed up and taken care of the Vespa club, and
that would have been amazing.
They would have hired Queen Latifah, though. You know what Equalizer they would have taken.
Oh,
well, Disney could have continued to license some of this out. Like, let's say they wanted to make the Marvel content. Okay, give it to Netflix. You're like, okay, fine, put it on Disney Plus for 6 months. After 6 months, nobody's watching your content. Hell, nobody's watching this Marvel and Star Wars stuff 2 months after it's done.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They could immediately turn around and take it and license it out to Netflix and Amazon Prime if they wanted to. They'd make a ton of money from it. Those places will throw big money at a company like Disney, but they're stupid and greedy and stubborn, and everything's got to be here. We have to control everything, and everything has to be here. Look at what Universal does, and I've talked about this a million times. My audience knows what I'm going to say. They have the most brilliant contractor system out there. They make content. It goes to theaters. It then goes to Peacock, their proprietary streaming service, for the first 4 months of the pay-one window. The next 10 months of the pay-one window, if it's animated, like a DreamWorks or Illumination picture, like Mario Brothers, it goes to Netflix. If it's live action, like Jurassic World Dominion, it goes to Amazon Prime. Amazon and Netflix, for those middle 10 months 5 through 13 or 5 through 14 or whatever it was, in the pay one window, they each are paying Comcast like $1 billion for those contracts. And then Comcast gets it back on Peacock for the last 4 months of the pay one. Then with pay two, they go license it out again somewhere else if they want. Disney, they put it on Disney Plus, and it dies. That's it. That's where it goes to die.
Yeah.
And they used to make, up until 2019, when they launched Disney Plus, they were getting billions of dollars from Netflix. Remember when all the Marvel stuff, when it left the theaters, where'd it go? Went to Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix was stroking some big old fat checks for those contracts year over year.
Yeah.
Disney walked away from all that. They were positive in streaming, billions upon billions of dollars, and then they traded it in to go the other way into $15 billion in losses.
I know it's crazy, but they were chasing that cash flow, right? So I remember when Netflix was undervalued, and then Ray Dalio makes a tweet about it, and it explodes, based on just his perspective on it. But then I felt like even Netflix kind of became inflated, and now I'm sitting here when it comes to the strikes and everything like that, it's to me, I think, well, Netflix feels like the only game in town that's actually making money. So they don't want to release numbers. They don't want to do, actually paying for royalties and things of that nature, because that kills their profitability. And it's Disney can't, Disney's not profitable on Disney Plus. What are they, if they start paying royalties on top of everything that's already going on, it just feels like that's game over, right? So it's it's weird.
They can't.